Hello, Dr. Titus and class. My name is Tom Bohl, and I am giving my presentation today on wildlife management, why I've chosen it, or to quote Henry David Thoreau, why I went to the woods. The purpose of the presentation today is basically to talk about why I have chosen wildlife management for my course of study. Just kind of wanted to begin it with this quote from Henry David Thoreau. I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. I really feel that is a very good, solid quote for myself and those of us that are seeking to go into wildlife management. Wildlife management is part of nature. Those of us that hold a deep and loving abide for it, we start off with that. So I think it is one of those crafts that starts off as being emotional, but eventually does become logical as well too, as we learn and educate ourselves in the arena of wildlife management. So I'd like to start off with the reasons that I had chosen wildlife management. I'd like to give a little bit of a background on that, where I'm at right now with the present, and then what I'm looking at for the future of the course of study of wildlife management for myself. In the beginning, when I was much younger, before I had graduated from high school, I was really into a lot of outdoor activities. I had gone hunting for pheasants, rabbits, ducks, later on deer when I got older. I also was started mentoring from trapping when I was about 8 or 9 years old from a fellow that taught me a lot about it, appreciating the outdoors. I got to witness some great things on the trap line, such as seeing a deer that had triplet fawns, and a lot of that just kind of built on my interest in the outdoors. Then, of course, fishing. I grew up in North Dakota fishing in both the ice and in the water, and that developed some more of why I was interested in wildlife management. And then, of course, there are other activities as well too, hiking, going camping with my grandparents, and that just kind of started the foundation for that when I was a child. Later on, when I graduated from high school, I started attending a Votech college in North Dakota, and I did receive 2 degrees from there. One was in forestry and the other one was in parks and recreation. During that time when I wasn't going to school, in the summertime I was working for the U.S. Forest Service. The first 2 seasons I worked for the U.S. Forest Service, I was in conducting regeneration surveys, or rather I was working on them. Basically it was the silviculture section, and we were going out and checking to see how well trees were growing back and after wildland fires and planting, and learned a tremendous amount from that. Just everything from forestry to wildlife, how everything is intertwined and interlocked with each other. I also was fortunate enough to do fisheries work as well too as a volunteer. I did a lake survey up in the mountains there. This is in Northern California. I got to do a count on steelhead population, which was fun. It was just basically floating the river, observing steelhead, and I also helped build their habitats, which was basically pulling old rotten logs into the rivers and creeks so that the steelhead would have somewhere to rest and lay their eggs in cooler temperatures. I was also a wildland firefighter as well too. At present, I am working on a master's degree in environmental science with a fish and wildlife concentration. One of the businesses that I have, see, I'm retired Air Force, and one of the things that I do is animal damage control trapping, and I feel that is one of the relevant crafts in studying wildlife management. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of knowledge that you pick up and a tremendous amount of knowledge that you use with that. One of the hobbies that I am pursuing that also concerns wildlife is falconry. That's also basically where you go into the wild and you trap a red-tailed hawk or an American kestrel, and you begin to train it and work with it, and you sort of develop a symbiotic relationship, and therein you learn more about wildlife, that as well too. So a lot of this is just passions and pursuits. What I'm looking at for the future with my master's degree is possibly writing environmental impact assessments. We here at AMU had the opportunity, when I was looking at our requirements and our electives, to learn how to write environmental impact assessments. I think that would be a great job to have, because you would be able to make a difference with wildlife management, especially if you're able to have input on how you are able to write your impact assessments. I may also just go back to doing wildlife and fisheries technician level work as well too, and work with wildlife and fisheries a lot more directly in that capacity. And if time allows, if I go back into the workforce, I would like to continue the pursuit of animal damage control, trapping, and falconry. And that, because like I said, these have been my passions, and that for as long as I can remember, and wanted to share that with you today. So thank you all very much for your time.